John Cooper Clarke is now with us. He, in the past, has worked with that fellow, Elvis Costello. Welcome, John. You know the guys. You met them in Adelaide.
Yeah.
Little Sammy there. Worked with the radio station. Just have a look at this single. I Married a Monster from Outer Space. Actually, you gave this to us a couple of years ago in England. That's how it went out over there, is it?
That's right, yeah.
How did it sell in England?
Very well.
I always thought
it was only
Australian groups should
It was only actually the first 25,000 that was that shape. The rest of them were like plain old black vinyl circular.
Apparently here there's...
The next one's going to be boomerang shaped, so you
go like a rocket here,
yeah, right.
but it might come back. Sammy tells me this is one of only 3 copies of this in the country.
Really?
So there could be a good market.
Yeah, right.
Make another 25,000.
Yeah,
right?
sure, yeah. Wow.
You have been described, at the time we met, the punk new wave thing was on, and you were the punk poet. That was the description going around. People hate descriptions, I know, but there's the Bard of Salford now. How would you describe yourself? Can you?
I prefer punk poet myself.
Yeah?
It's a bit more alliterative, isn't it?
Yeah, I
Bard
like
of Salford's a bit parochial, isn't it? You know?
Right, yeah, it's starting to get into the other area. The International Poetry Olympics, where were they held and when did that happen? You took part in that?
The first one was held, in fact, the only one that I was involved with was held at Westminster Abbey. Good venue for a poetry gig, I always thought. You know, it's full of, it's really kind of moody place, you know, It's full of flowers and, you know, rococo touches, you know, angels with no noses, statues of dead poets. It's where the Queen gets married, for Christ's sake, you know.
And so, when did this take place, and how many poets lined up for the Olympics?
There was about a dozen, I think, on that particular occasion. It was myself, Linton Kwesi Johnson, and then the establishment.
Linton was coming out here, wasn't it? It was rumoured that he'd come with you, but now he's not here.
I don't think Linton approves of the all-white ambience of this place, actually. I think you have a bit of trouble getting him out here. I can relate to that as well.
What sort of poetry is Linton? He is mostly political stuff.
Oh, it's crucial, man, crucial.
Crucial.
Yeah.
I love that. Can you remember the first time that you walked onto a stage and did your poetry at a rock sort of venue, you know, with rock bands?
Yeah, it was a discotheque in a place called Openshaw, which is a kind of very industrialised part of Manchester. I was stabbed in the leg.
It wasn't funny at the time.
Not at the time, right.
But you, last time when I met you had a broken arm, you'd fallen off the stage or been pushed. Have you had many accidents like that?
It's a wonder I'm still here, you know, yeah.
What sort of other things have happened to you?
I fell out of a train once, broke my ankle.
Were you reciting at the time?
No, I was keeping quiet at the time.
Anything else?
What, injury-wise?
Yeah.
I got knocked off a motorbike once, you know.
Not while you were
I'll do anything to be compared to Bob Dylan.
You actually told me you hated that when we were in the time, right? And that was a comparison that was happening a lot.
Yeah.
When you worked that first time with a band, did you feel that like this was breaking new ground? Because I've not.
Oh yeah, sure. Well, I mean, you know, it's sort of there's nobody else doing it, you know.
And were you nervy at the time, or did you just say, well, I'm going to get up here and do it?
Well, no, I mean, people used to ask me, you know, about the, you know, aren't you scared reading poetry to punk rockers and that? But like I say, it's not as bad as the nightclub circuit, you know, which is what I was working on in the period immediately before the punk rock, in the period immediately before I invented punk poetry.
Right, right. So in nightclub circuit, who would you be performing in front of? Not audience-wise, but I mean, who were you supporting there? What sort of acts?
Ventriloquists, strippers, comedians, fire eaters.
That's one hell of a show. Have you ever thought of doing it again?
Oh no, never again. It's a really miserable circuit, that, you know. I mean, you wouldn't believe the earache you had to go through just to get your money, you know. I mean, it's because all these clubs, you know, I mean, and what used to be called the Northern Club Circuit, every one of them was run by a gangster, you know, and you'd have to face down about 15 gorillas just to get your 30 quid, you know.
Now, Australian...
I took to walking around with a big geezer in there,
right.
you know.
And a bodyguard.
Yeah, all right.
Australian audiences that you've now been here for a few weeks, compared to the English audiences that you work in front of in this rock area, how do they compare?
Exactly the same. It's funny, you know, audiences, you know, I mean, even places where they don't speak English, you know, I mean, it goes down exactly the same everywhere.
Do you ever feel that maybe you're not really, you know, getting the point across and maybe it's going like that?
No, I'm sure I am, you know, I mean, it's remarkable, really. I mean, just before I came out here, I was doing a kind of international poetry festival in Holland, you know. And, yeah, they seem to go for it.
They can grasp it.
Yeah.
That's great. Could you do something for us now? Maybe something that you've written recently?
Sure, yeah.
Lovely.
Yeah. While I'm in an acrimonious frame of mind because of the dreadful hotels these promoters have been putting me in, I'll do this one. I mean, you won't believe the hotels they're putting me in, you know. I went to see the manager last night. I said, I come to see you about the roof. He says, what about it? I said, I want one. I said, I'll have pneumonia in the morning. He said, you'll have cornflakes like every... Right, this is cool. Well, the title appears on the very last line. Like a nightclub in the morning, you're the bitter end. Like a recently disinfected shithouse, you're clean round the bend. You give me the horrors. Too bad to be true, all of my tomorrows are lousy because of you. You put the shat in shatter, you put the pain in Spain. Your germs are splattered about, your face is just a stain. You're certainly no raver, commonly known as a drag. Do us all a favour, here, wear this polythene bag. You're like a dose of scabies, I've got you under my skin. You make life a fairy tale, grim, a sumo wrestler's armpits, I've nothing on your shoes. Show me any two half-wits and they're twice as smart as you. I think about thrombosis. Every time we touch, I say you have acute halitosis. You say thank you very much. You're very pleasant. I know it's just a fad. Your very presence makes me really mad. I hear your knock up on my door. I've got to get out of town. I hit the lights, I hit the floor, I turn the TV down. People mention murder. The moment you arrive, I'd consider killing you if I thought you were alive. You've got this slippery quality. It makes me think of phlegm and a dual personality. I hate both of them. Your bad breath, vamps disease, destruction, tooth decay. Please, 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 please take yourself away like a death at a birthday party. You have to spoil the fun like a sucked and spat out smarty. You're no use to anyone. Like a black widow spider in the recess of disgrace. Speaking as an outsider, what do you think of the human race? You went to a progressive psychiatrist. He recommended suicide before scratching your bad name off his list and pointing away outside. Laughter from the playground breaks your bleeding heart. You're heading for a breakdown, better pull yourself apart. Your dirty name is passed about when something goes amiss. Your attitudes are platitudes, they make me want to piss. What kind of creature bore you? Was it some kind of bat? They can't find a good word for you, but I can. T.W.A.T.
Thank you very much.
My pleasure.
We come back and we'll talk with all of our guests right after we have a look at Flash Gordon, Part 1. And this is something similar to the single, I think. They're Tree Men of Mars. From outer space we go.